Hi, this is Rethik Sir, your biology SME, and welcome to the MemoNeet. Uh, in the last all the previous videos, we have discussed regarding the principle of inheritance, and we have also gone through some, a brief introduction or a basic introduction about mutation. So that means if there is any mutation that will leads to what a kind of undesirable characteristics and all. So in this lecture, we will get on in depth, okay, regarding what exactly the mutation is and how mutation occurs. Cool. So coming to the result mutation, right? So when I'm talking about something called mutation, so it is actually a phenomenon, right, which results in alternation of DNA sequence and consequently results in changes in the genotype and phenotype. Genotype and phenotype of an organism. Right. So here, what do you mean by genotype? Sorry. What exactly you mean by genotype? See, when I'm talking about a genotype of a living organism, so if there is any alternation in the DNA sequence and consequently, it is going to result in the change of the genotype and phenotype of a organisms. So genotype is nothing but a genetic makeup of an organism, where phenotype is actually an observing character. That is what we know. So how, matlab, see, we know that the genes are actually located on the chromosomes. So that is actually they have been located on a DNA and DNA is present like, the chromosomes, right? So what is DNA here? DNA is a genetic material. So genes are present on the DNA, and together they form what DNA together. They form chromosomes. So genes, in a very simple way, genes are actually located on the chromosomes. So if there is any alternation in the chromosomes, okay, if there is any alternation that happens or alternation of the chromosomes, it actually results in what? It might results in abnormality, that is alternation of chromosomes. Okay, so that results in one is abnormality or aberrations. So abnormality is nothing but it might result into an abnormality of living organisms. Aberration is nothing but which do not fits in the current standard or current scenario. Say like a normal cell. So you know how the what exactly the function of normal cell is, right? But if there is any alternation that happens in the normal cell, like say in the chromosome of a normal cell, so that leads to what? A cancerous cells, cancer cells. So you can see like cancerous cells doesn't follow a condition of a normal cell, right? So how cancerous cell is formed because of the mutation that has happened in its chromosome, or it could be in any level, right? So this is what we are trying to say. So that means if there is any alternation in the chromosome that results in the abnormalities or aberrations. Okay, then what exactly, how mutation occurs? So one general theory of mutation, occurrence of mutation is, so one could be like a change in a single pair of DNA. So can I call it as point mutation? Example could be sickle cell anemia. See, if it is a DNA, okay, so that homologous DNA, what happens if there is any single pair of the DNA has been changed? So out of your A, T, C, G. So in this, if there is any pair gets changed in a single pair, if a single pair gets changed, like if this is something a pattern of DNA, instead of T, again if a G has been repeated or again a C has been repeated, something like that, what happens? So that could also leads to a mutation. Since here only one specific point of the DNA has been changed, so that is going to lead a kind of mutation. So it is called as point mutation. In depth, in detail, we will say it when we are dealing with the molecular biology. Example is sickle cell anemia. So another example is deletion or addition of the base pair of the DNA. So during the base pair of the DNA, if any base pair has been deleted, or else if a newly unknown base pair has been added in the DNA, it could also cause what? Shift mutation. It could cause shift mutation, right? So this is another point. Then even some of the factors like chemical and physical factors are also responsible for the mutation in the DNA, like refer to the, so that also refers to what? Mutagens. For example, we have an UV light or UV radiation. So we know that UV radiation, it causes mutation, right? So it causes mutation, hence it is referred to as mutagen now. Okay, that means what happens when I'm talking about a chemical or physical factors which are influencing for the possibilities of getting mutation. So that also leads to some abnormalities, right? So for example, and those we actually call them as mutagens, like an UV radiation which actually causes a mutation in the DNA or in the chromosome. So we refer it as the mutagens. So this is clear what exactly, whenever it is related to physical or chemical factors, they are subject as mutagens. Okay. So one way of seeing like how the mutations might have occurred, one is the change in a single pair of the DNA, which could be called as point mutation. Then shift mutation, such as deletion or what do you say that inserting of the base pair of DNA. Okay, which may also causes what? Shift mutation. Then some of the factors like chemical and physical factors, they also play a very important role in causing the mutation. So they are actually called as what? Mutagenes. So one example is UV radiation, which might causes the mutation in the DNA or in the chromosome or in the cell. So we normally refer that as mutagenes. So this is all about what? Mutation. So basic concepts of mutation. Is it clear for you all? Yeah, cool. So one basic thing I really want you guys to do is I want you all to practice a number of MCQs. So say like from today, just make a challenge that from today I'll be solving around 50 MCQs irrespective of any topic, okay, related to biology, irrespective of any topic. I want you to like solve 50 MCQs every day. So that will give you a boosting power, regarding your preparation and all. So one thing is you can randomly choose any of the textbook and all to solve the MCQs. But if you still want to, have that neat kind of thing, feeling and all, you can prefer the MemoNeet app, as you have more than 15,000 MCQs are there in the app. So which is 100% NTA pattern syllabus, and it covers all the entire NCRT textbook. So you can also prefer the MemoNeet app for preparation as well as practicing of the MCQs. Moving to the next topic. So now coming to the pedigree analysis. What do you mean by pedigree analysis? Basic question. Like everyone should know what exactly you mean by pedigree analysis, right? What is it? See, when I'm talking about a pedigree analysis, it is an idea that the disorders, okay, it has been inherited from our ancestors or from our parents, right? This was because of what do you say that the hereditary characteristics of a family. Like if I'm resembling some characters, this might be because my family had that character. It could be a diseases, it could be some disorders, it could be any specific characters, which is good or bad, your skin color, your hair color, everything. So it resembles one or the other way, it resembles our family. So that is actually called as what? An hereditary character. So to analyze this traits or the character in several generation, okay, analysis of traits in several generation of the family is actually called pedigree analysis, right? Is called what? Pedigree analysis. So this is very important, like analysis of a trait in several generation. So we are trying to analysis the characters of the traits several generation of a family is actually called as pedigree analysis. So inheritance of a particular traits or a character is representation of the family tree over a generation. So by studying your past, your previous generation and all, then coming up with a conclusion is how the pedigree analysis is done, like through a family tree over a generation. So, what happens when you do this pedigree analysis? It actually provides you a proper track or an analysis of an inheritance of specific character or specific traits, then abnormalities, and also disease related thing. Okay, so from which generation this abnormality might have started? We'll understand from which generation the mutation might have occurred and what type of disease is being carried out and what contracts the disease is being carried out. So this is one thing. So there are different symbols which can be used to identify. Okay. So during the pedigree analysis. So I'll just try to draw out the symbol. Okay. So this symbol represents what? Male. And this symbol represents female. Right. So what about this symbol then? It represents sex unspecific. Sex which is unspecific, like you're not identical, whether we are not unable to identify whether the person is male or female, that time we normally use this symbol. Okay. And if I have written this way, that is, if I have written the male symbol and I have, shaded inside the box, or the female symbol and shaded inside the box, or this unspecific symbol and again shaded inside the box, what it means? It means that the individual has been affected. So it means the individual has been affected. So if I write like this, so this is male, okay. If I write like this, what it indicates? It indicates that mating. That means their parents, the male and female, they are married, something like that, mating. So if I write the symbol like this, okay. So what it indicates, again married mating, but mating between relatives. So here the marriage is happening between the relatives itself. So to show that we actually prefer this symbol, okay, where it is, yeah, this symbol. The next, if it is like, if I write like this, where it is. So if I write like this, what it indicates? So it indicates that this is parent, their parents, and their children's, and that their children's. Okay. So to know like who was the first and who is the second. So order of the birth will be like left to right, like this one. So to your left side to right. That means so it will be first and this will be second. I mean the child. Okay. So the first child will be the female and the second child will be male. That means whenever you're writing the offspring of a progeny, like offspring, then whatever the left first comes to your left, right? So there will be the first child and the rest will be the second, third, fourth, like this. So if I write like this, say like, uh, okay, if I write like this, what the symbol represents, the child is affected. Okay, child is affected by any diseases. This is one thing. So if I write like this, what it indicates now, I have written some number. Okay, what it indicates? It indicates like five un, unaffected offsprings. So there are five which are unaffected offsprings. They are not affected by any of the diseases. So you got the symbol is actually very important because in the coming some Mendelian disorders or chromosomal disorders, this symbol plays a very important role, especially in the Mendelian disorders. The symbols plays a very important role. Based on the symbol itself, you have to identify what kind of disease, what kind of mutation it is. Okay. So like if you're not perfect with the symbol, if you are unable to identify what symbol specify what, so then you will unable to identify even the kind of diseases or the mutation that they're going through. Okay. So this is one point. So each features of an organism is actually controlled by a gene. That is what we get to know during the mutation. So then the gene is located on the like DNA, and DNA is present on the chromosome, right? So as I told before itself that the DNA is the one which actually carries the genetic information. So if there is any changes or a mutation or abnormalities happens in the DNA, so that means it is also going to affect the chromosome. As a result, what happens? The mutation happens, or some unspecific characters might occur, and disorders also comes. That means now what happens? So if there is any changes in the position or location of the DNA or chromosome, that means it is also going to affect the position of the gene, expression of the gene. So as a result, what happens? Mutation occurs, right? Abnormalities occurs. So obviously that leads to what? A kind of disorders. So what kind of disorders? Based on what kind of mutation has happened. Clear with you? So this was all an introduction about what exactly the mutation is and what is this pedigree analysis and how mutation happens. So this is a basic class. After knowing this only, one will be able to understand the Mendelian disorders and the chromosomal disorders. So to know those that specific topic, this basic concept is very important. Okay. So I just want to know, like, if you are still facing any problems and if you are finding something difficult, you can comment on the comment box, like, this is what I'm feeling difficulty. Please explain me. I'll definitely make out a video for that. And don't forget with the challenge. Okay, this week and the coming week, every day make sure that you are, doing like you're solving at least 50 MCQs per day with your busy schedule, whatever your schedule might be. But make sure that you are specifically solving 50 MCQs, especially related to your biology. Okay, cool. This is the challenge I'm giving you, students, and let me know how it's actually going on. Thank you.